Greetings and salutations, everyone. Today, we're doing something a tiny bit different than what you're normally used to see. You can already see, of course, that my format is slightly different. You'll notice I still have the video playing, right, and still my face camera, but now we have this weird chart thing here you can see as I'm moving my mouse around with it. I am going to be showing off something I'm going to be practicing on my Twitch channel. I'm going to be speedrunning Final Fantasy 1 for the PSP. This is the any percent category, where it's basically you just get to the end of the game as fast as you can, and there's pretty much every single game that's that has speedrunning involved has an any percent thing. That's just the basics there. Some quick things to explain here. I'm just gonna press A so it doesn't leave my channel. Ooh, excuse me, sorry about that. This table here is my timer. Essentially keeps track of how it keeps track of how long I've been playing. Each of these horizontal categories here are essentially checkpoints. Like my first checkpoint, with my current best time overall, I make it there at 3 minutes and 22 seconds, 0.9 seconds. This is my best time overall, 141:20.1. In this video, we're not gonna reach that. If I beat that, that would be insane. But I'm gonna be taking some time to explain some things because we have to, and I'm gonna also be explaining the story in case some of you who are watching have never honestly ever played the first Final Fantasy, which I don't blame you for. Even though everyone knows Final Fantasy, I think everyone has at least seen Final Fantasy play, but not have it explained what's going on and whatnot. So today I'm kind of getting two birds with one stone here. I'm going to be showing off not only Final Fantasy, but also showing off the speedrunning route. I'm in no way good at this, if you will. I'm trying to get good at this. The reason that I started getting interested in speedrunning this game was I saw that there was a tournament race where people were basically competing against each other to see who got a faster time and whatnot. And there's some randomness involved. It's slightly different each time you play because there's just monsters that you'll face. Maybe you just get really unlucky against a boss fight and whatnot. So what I'm doing here on this screen is setting up the party that best utilizes the fastest way to get the best equipment or whatnot. The reason for that is there's going to be a specific trick, little glitch that we're going to perform, and the best way to get them the good stuff is to set up the party originally like this. When I play this casually, I will switch out the thief for the red mage. I just prefer the red mage. He's just the all-around class, basically. There we go. You don't have to name your files speedrunning or casually. You can just hit select and it'll change the name to something random from there, but I decided for this video I will have slashy. Oh, slashy. No, hold on. That's stabby for you, sir. I wasn't even thinking, I was just talking. I will be, like I said, I will have stuff to explain. I'm gonna be, I will apologize if I go too fast. That's just gonna be the nature of the game. And actually, I'm going to change my camera view just slightly here. This is really difficult. I think I adjusted it incorrectly when I was fixing the pile. Because I basically have a bunch of DVD cases stacked on top of each other, and then I just have the camera there. That's how this works. So, and I had to readjust it to make some room for other stuff I'm putting on the table. But, oh, a quick explanation about the timer back here on the screen. This number down here, it's gonna keep track. It's gonna either be blue or red. If the number is blue, it means I'm on schedule, essentially. I'm ahead. If it turns red, it means I'm slowing behind. That's not as important as the numbers that will appear here. it's going to show you the delta of the time, meaning that it's either going to show how slower or how faster I am compared to my the best times overall in this column here. And you'll see what I'm talking about. They're going to be red or blue. Again, same thing. Red is going to be if I'm faster, and it'll have a minus sign. Red means slower, it'll have a plus sign. We will see probably a lot of red. I'm not going to lie. Since I'm going to take some time, I'm going to play it a little more safely, and I'm going to explain some stuff and not go as fast as I usually do. But I think that's enough of being on this screen. Let's go ahead and get this started. Oh, by the way, I have a keyboard that allows me to control my my timer or whatnot, and basically I'm just hitting spacebar for days. So here we go. 3, 2, 1, boom. Alright, first things off, we're gonna go to our menu screen. We're gonna put dash on. If you don't have that on, you have to hold down the B button in order to go super fast all the time. So it's just better just to have it on. This one, the cursor, we're gonna put on memory. That's what's gonna allow us to activate the cheat, and then we're gonna put the message speed on its fastest setting, because we need to mash through text, especially a lot in the beginning. So here we go. We're in the city of Cornelia. We just are 4 travelers, just with essentially 4 dead mini crystals, basically. And we're just gonna get some stuff out of the way here. So here's how the glitch works, right? As you can see, Slashy can equip a hammer for being the knight class. Stabby can't. You can hear me, it's just not doing anything, right? So how this works is, in order to... we're going to basically glitch an item out of thin air. That's the best way to explain how this is working. To do it, we need the memory cursor, so that the cursor here will be on gloves for the thief. And we're going to start with weapon here, because that's the only thing we've really got. I'm going to hit the R button and the A button at the same exact time. And that's going to give me now a knight's armor. How this works is that, as far as I understand it, each item has an ID number. You've got weapons that have one, and then knight armor stuff on the other. Certain armor goes in certain slots, but pretty much all armor is the same regardless. The way it works is it looks at Slashy and goes, okay, we're putting something into the weapon slot, and I need to look at the weapon ID numbers. But it also realizes at the same time that we're in one of the armor slots, so it goes, okay, I need to look for an armor that matches the ID number, not the weapon. And this allows us to put basically anything onto anyone so long as we have the item of the ID number. So, in this case, let's say that the hammer is 1. It looks at the weapon slot and goes, okay, I know we're looking for the ID number of 1 because that's what he can equip. But it takes a look and says, oh, we're in the armor slot, I need to look for the armor that's the ID number 1, and it just happens to be knight's armor. It is one of the best armors that we're going to start off with, to be honest. Like, it's pretty legit. And we're just going to do that for everyone. Here we go. Nailed it. And we're actually going to give Slashy 2 of them so we can remove 1 and sell it. It's 18,000 gold, which is insane amounts of money for the early part of the game. We're just going to buy a lot of potions, and then about 20-ish potions or antidotes and Phoenix Downs. The potions and Phoenix Downs and antidotes are all safety things. We're trying to keep ourselves alive, because there's a good chance that someone's going to die on accident. We will be on purpose killing off the knight and the thief in the long run, at a point in the time, longer in the run, whatever. I can use my words, it's fine. So that's all that. Story-wise, what's happened is we've gone to the king, and he's like, oh, you must be the prophesied warriors of light. And he's like, I'd like to help. My daughter, however, has been kidnapped by one of our strongest knights, Garland. And he's taken her to the relic, the old decrepit Chaos Castle. And so he's like, I can't do anything till you rescue her. So we're like, cool, we're just going to go over there. Normally, if you're casually playing this game, you're gonna want to grind up for some levels, get some gil from it, so you can purchase armor and stuff. We don't do that. We just get what we want through item glitching. So, oh, another thing about the item glitching is it does create essentially an item out of thin air, but you have to, if you want to duplicate that item again for somebody else to use, you have to equip it. If it's an item that exists in your inventory, the glitch doesn't work. It doesn't just magically make a second one for you. So you'll see me do that constantly, where I'm always equipping stuff for days. I even at one point will equip something else to a character so I can continue to duplicate, and I'll show you later on what that is. Don't worry about that. We have a lot of stuff to cover. Anyway, so here's Garland. He's got Princess Sarah here, and he says his most famous line here: "I shall knock you all down," and we're just gonna attack him. Okay, so the item glitch that we did was the leather hats changing into the judgment staffs. The judgment staffs are incredibly weak, but you can use them as items in battle, and it just so happens that judgment staffs give us the spell, or are treated as the spell Flare when used in battle. So that's pretty cool. Also, if you're wondering when I split, because you can see now I have like 206 now on the thing, meaning I'm 2 seconds and 6 seconds slower. That's called a split. When I hit the timers, is typically when the boss starts to disappear, or just before the text box appears for items. So that's what all that is. We got a small little cutscene here going on here. Continuing the story here, King's Habit, we got Princess Sarah back. Princess Sarah tells us that Garland wanted the loot, and tells us that we should have it instead because Garland thought it was important. And so we will hold on to that for a very long time, even in speedrunning terms here. It's fantastic. But as a reward for rescuing Princess Sarah, the king has decided, like, hey, let's rebuild the bridge so you can go and awaken the crystals. And we're like, cool. We won't know what awakening the crystals is for a while. We won't see that, so that's good. Now we're just gonna go off to our next area of important business. Not these guys, that's for sure. Stuff to cover. Every time you level up in battles, it does increase your stats kind of randomly, HP, MP, and, you know, like your strength, agility, whatnot, whatever. But it does not give you a refill on your health or magic points. I believe there's a couple games that do that. This is not one of those. So we will be sitting with low health for quite a while, honestly. Like 30s and 20s is pretty low, and we're gonna be pretty. You have to be pretty comfortable with that. You can't just be like, I'm just instant panic. No, there will be times to heal. Plus, we should be able to run away from a lot of these guys, unless we just encounter like every single creature on the face of the planet. And most of them aren't even going to hit that hard at this point, because we have the Knight's armor. Formation is important. The higher up you are in the lineup, fighters at the top for instance, the more likely you are to get hit. That's why the mages are on essentially the bottom, and then the thief and knight are at the top. Preferably I want them to keep hitting the knight. Not to the point where he's gonna be in danger, but we'll get into that fun business later. Very shortly, though. So our next town here is going to be Provoca, I believe is the name. Some pirates have decided to overtake this town because pirates. What else? And we're going to go and free the town. how this is going to work is I'm going to put the fighter and the thief on defense. Oops, I need to go up. And I'm going to use the judgment staff as an item on these guys. That's good. The first turn usually doesn't work out that way for me. It's going to cast Flare and get rid of all these guys. The reason why that you put the fighter and thief in defense is if you tell them to go attack and they go before the mages, which is very likely, let's be honest here, they're going to you're going to waste a couple seconds of them attacking something that they don't need to, since the mages can take it out. So that's why we would put them on defense. Also, if someone is defending and they actually can negate all the damage, it will deal 0 damage. So that's another plus. So they will be comfortably defending for a little bit when we're not running away, at the very least. So yeah, you always, when you see one, it means they're dealing the absolute minimum damage. That my defense is just that good for that character. But they'll always deal 1 damage. And the defense brings us to that way you can actually reduce the damage completely. Excuse me. Wow, alright. Alright then. That's how you want to be today? Sharks are scary. I tend to not have good luck running away from them. You generally always want to run away. You don't really want to fight. Always. Alright, we're going to go to Elfheim. We're going to buy some gold needles in case we get petrified, which is super scary. We don't want that. Just going to buy the lot and move out. There are some battles we can't run away from. Like of course there's like boss monsters that you have to face up against and whatnot. But there are legitimate enemies that we're going to counter it in the future that we cannot run away from. So it's an actual 0% chance to do so, no matter what. Well, don't know why it has to be a thing. In some cases, it makes sense. I'm gonna have an example very shortly for you guys here. Show off that. So right now, we're going to a place called the Marsh Cave, which is really the first big dungeon. Alright, I'm gonna actually, if I can successfully run away, I'm actually gonna heal Slashy. Whoops. Nope. There we go. I want to heal the mages, but I want to heal them at a correct time where it's worth healing them. The fighter and thief, however, I want to be careful healing because I mentioned before, I want them to die in the future, and so the next, 40 minutes of this game is going to be health management, doing my best to, get their health low so that it's, comfortably low so it's not a risk, but not risking it where they end up dying. It's not the worst thing in the world if they die. I was about to go all the way right, and that was stupid. I don't even know anymore. Anyway, my point is, we're going to try to keep them alive as much as we can. If they die in a battle, it's not the complete end of the world. It is a time waster because I have to revive them, and then I have to heal them back up again. So here's going to be an example of an unescapable battle, but the other thing we're going to illustrate as well is that there's a tile right in front of this chest. This will always spawn a monster, and it's always going to spawn the Pisco demons here. So, I forgot that I could just hold A through because I'm set up that way. As you can see, they hit hard even against the knight, so I definitely had to heal the mages, but the other guys I didn't have to worry about. There we go. So that's that. Grab the treasure chest. And that tile will always spawn the Pisco demons. The number can be random between 2 to 4, but if you walk off and walk back on it again, it'll always give you that battle to fight. And we're actually going to abuse that tactic later on. Oh, so this is interesting. I had my mouse covering it, sorry. That's professional. But now there's you can see this number is gold, despite being 2 minutes and 12 seconds being slower. I honestly didn't think we were going to get to that point where I was going to have a gold split. But what that means is that my segment, meaning the time that it took me to get from Pirates to the Pisco Demons slot, the gold means that I did that faster compared to my previous time. And so that's a big thing. Got ambushed, so that's cool. You never want to get ambushed. You'd rather have preemptive strikes. Of course, you'd rather just actually have regular stuff, because that means because you don't have to deal with text, but you don't always get the first escape turn, so, you know. It's just, that's kind of the randomness involved. Sometimes you just get ambushed and you can't do anything about it, and sometimes you really just have to roll with the punch what's happening. So anyway, we got a crown from the marsh because this king tells us, he's like, hey, you need to grab the crown in order to restore power back to the elves. Turns out he's a dark elf, enemy of the elves, Astos. And he's like, now I have the crystal eye and the crown. I am unstoppable. We're gonna go put him into attack mode and then use flare. Good, he physically attacked. That's what we want him to do. He can cast death. If he casts it on one of the mages, that's actually bad. If you cast it on the fighter or the thief, not so much. But typically you do have to sit, everyone basically has to contribute to this fight. That's why we attack, otherwise it wouldn't be enough. So that's done. We did that faster too. Holy crap. What's wrong with these splits here? I honestly didn't think I was going to get gold on anything because I'd be sitting here talking, so. But now we got the crystal eye and we didn't end up losing. Yeah, somehow it's 48.9 seconds faster. How's that a thing? That was with an ambush. I'm not saving these times. Like if I honestly beat this game in less than 1 hour and 41 minutes, I'm just gonna be like, how's that a thing? When I practice for real, I hope then to be lower than that, but it just means that for Pisco Demons and Astos, we're gonna have, we should be able to easily make up for some lost time compared to my last run. Oh, battles for days. This is all part of the thing. I'm legitimately not cutting anything out. You all get to suffer with me. Anyway, so we're now actually going to go visit a witch by the name of Matoya. And I apologize for any of the names, if that's not the proper way how to pronounce it, but it's the way that I've pronounced it for years, so cool beans there, really. But we're gonna go up to her. You can go talk to her beforehand, and she's like, I'm missing my crystal eye, I can no longer see. Apparently she has 2 blind eyes, and she needs the crystal eye to see. That's a thing. But she mentions that oh gosh, no one ran away. Oh, I got poisoned too. That's worse because now I have to deal with that. Please run away. Please! Yes! Black Mage saves. If no one ran away, then Thief would have taken poison damage, possibly killing him, which is what I don't want to happen. Anyway, Matoya tells you Dark Elf stole her eye, something like that. Joyous, joyous of days. I have to keep looking over to see like how long I've actually been playing because of course I had that whole introduction beforehand. Playing what was going on. The status effects are actually pretty bad on the party. Paralysis is pretty bad. It can be naturally recovered over time, but if someone's paralyzed, that means what that means is that's one less character that can attempt to run away from me, which is not good. Paralysis is basically death that gets recovered for free at the end of the battle. Poison we have to deal with. Not only does it poison you in battle at the end of each round, meaning everyone's taken their turn, but it also means that for every step you walk outside in the overworlds, you take 1 point of damage from that. So that's fun. That's just the best of the best there. Alright, now I should explain. Off to my left, should be your right, I believe. There we go, Matoya. I have notes, like I have actual pieces of paper that you can see over here. Not too clearly. Whoops. Yeah, she tells you that not as attractive as she thought you were going to be, so that's cool. Thanks for that. It's a real vote of confidence, Matoya. Old hag. So, but anyway, so I have notes, and it's basically to help me memorize what's going on, because I don't have this whole run memorized. I have a good chunk of it, but, and it's also been such a long time since I've even practiced playing this game, so I needed to help me out a little bit. I have both like written steps that tell me what to do specifically for some of the steps and whatnot, where to go. But I also have printout maps of some of the dungeons, some of the more lengthier ones at the least. And I've drawn on them like the route to take to help me figure out where to go. Admittedly, the maps are used more for me to look at in between practice sessions and whatnot. Oh, you can walk into the castle from there? I've been doing that all wrong. I didn't think that was possible. Anyway, so the reason we're here, right? We got a Jolt tonic from Matoya. The prince was placed into like a coma through a curse, basically, and the Jolt tonic's the only thing that could wake him up. What we get from him is the Mystic Key. The Mystic Key is basically like the skeleton key, the any key, however you want to call it. I should split there. But it enables me to open up locked treasure chests. This is highly important. So we're gonna go... Whoops, that was too far. You have to hug this wall. Good, maybe I'll stop getting gold splits. We're gonna grab this item. We're gonna use the Mithril Hammer to start item glitching again. We're gonna give everyone the Thief's Armlet. This increases at least the wearer's. Now I have to go from here. Set this up. Here we go. What this does is that it increases not only like the defense, accuracy, and whatnot. Oops, I need to set you up. There we go. But it also increases agility, making it... Dang it, go down. I'm still practicing, actually, speedrunning tactics here. Realistically here. But it increases everyone's agility, makes it easier to run away. We take less damage overall. Even with... Like, the Knight's Armor does provide more defense, but the other stats that the Thief's Armlet produces is way better. So we got... That's the only reason we go up there, is to get the Thief's Armlet. Just makes... We'll be comfortable with this armor set for quite a while. I'm gonna go ahead, shift another page over. No, not paralysis! Don't you dare. Good. I'm gonna try running away. When you're dealing with enemies that have members of your party paralyzed, it's up to you whether or not do you want to like risk fighting them, because it is slower overall, but do you want to risk running away and not running away? Alright. So I need... Okay. We are going to fight it out to the death. Let's go ahead and use Judgment Staffs. As long as they're both not paralyzed, we're fine. That's good. That's good. This is not an impossible fight to run away from. It just so happens that they wouldn't let me run away. I'm also going to go ahead heal the thief up. That's just... It's getting too close for my comfort. We don't heal him up full away. Like I said, it's just a waste. We just need to give him enough health boost that they'll be able to tank quite a number of hits before we purposely off them for reals. Alright, so we're here. We're actually getting a quest item here. As you can see on my split, it says TNT. We're grabbing some dynamite so that we can further access the next part of our world here. Alright. There we go. There's that. And I am going to call it quits here. That is going to be good. I'm going to just pause the emulator. I am playing on an emulator. I don't have the resources, or basically the correct PSP to straight stream it from the console, so Otherwise, I totally would. It'd be great. But yeah, we'll continue this later. I will go ahead and say that this Final Fantasy series, I'm doing all the videos in one go. So instead of like, what I've done in the past, where like it has been, in some cases weeks since I've last recorded the video. In this case, they'll be uploaded. I'm planning once a week, kind of like how I usually do, how I usually try to plan at the very least. But the Final Fantasy videos will is from my point of view, is all done on the same day. From your point of view, it's going to be different. So continuity wise, it's not going to be realistic or related to the other videos that get posted with it. But that's just a heads up. I'm just going to be honest with you there. It's a lot easier if I tackle this in one go and then just upload the videos in my spare time. But thank you for watching. Hope you all have a good day, and we will continue this very shortly. Take care, everyone.